Hey there. I just got top 5 at the Glendale Regional big event. I believe there was about 250 people. Did a Floowandereeze deck. Super duper great. I went 7-1. Only player I lost to was Cody Minabe. Great player, YCS. Been there a couple times. Top 2, top 3. Felt like I played really well. The list is a little cookie cutter, but there are some cards that came up that I really think are going to be cool. Nothing format defining, but definitely some text and some stuff you should know.
This was your first regional, right?
This is my first regional ever. I haven't played a big tournament, and I was super excited. A couple of my boys, they dropped round 6, and they stayed an extra 2 hours just to make sure that I pulled it out, and it was super exciting. Got the mat and everything. Bubbled out of top 4, so I couldn't get one of those really hot regional boxes, but that's all right. Just super proud of my performance, put a lot of work and time into it, and so I'm just really excited that the results showed up.
Awesome. See what you're playing with.
All right, so like I said, we did play Flu. Super duper excited, but you got to start out with the obvious ones. Robina, you got to have it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's the best card in the deck. You normal summon Robina, you win games. You play 3 Eagle. Eagle's fantastic. That plus map, that's full combo. That plus wins is full combo. That plus another bird's full combo. Gets you to end pen, gets you all to your searchers. It's super cookie cutter. Gotta play 3. Getting 2 big birds here. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 more small birds. We got 1 token, 1 stree. I think if we were in a heavier tier format, I might bump up the stree because if it gets milled, it's a really big issue. That's your only way to get things out of grave, except for maybe, Dreaming Town banishing itself. This one's really important. Luckily, it didn't come up. I only played tier once, and so it ended up being just fine. Token's good. It's another one that you can play 2 of, but this list I took right off the Cancun winner, and they recommend 1-1. I played with ratios a little bit through the upcoming, the weeks going into it. And this just felt right. So scoop these up. Big birds. You got triple M pen. Some people are gonna play 2. 3 was definitely the right copy for me. You got Avian, you got Ryza. You play 1 of each. Ryza lock, I did it a few times. Get him down to 1 card in hand, no cards in hand, and you just put it right, put something in the grave right back to the top of the deck. Game's over. Negate, the Avian negate is super important. Sometimes you can negate early in the combo, and then you can force them into their normal summon, which will turn on being able to use wins, so you get a tribute plus you get your negate back. There were times where I could get Avian online 3 times in 1 turn, and that just completely is going to blow out your opponent, especially when they're going to be playing a special heavy deck. M-Pen's already locking down their board, and it's going to be really difficult if they don't have something like a board breaker like Dark Ruler. 3 M-Pen was super important, really came up in the grind game. I was iffy on it because I know I could use this slot for something else, but 3 was definitely the right call. I played the 1 of Samorg. It's gotten really popular in bird lists recently, but some people still aren't on it. Super huge card. Some people will play a DD Crow as another searcher off Robina, but this can chain block. This is going to get you that extra tribute, so especially with SP Little Knight going around, once they see 2 birds on your field and they know that you got the big bird in hand, they're going to try and get rid of it so you don't have any tributes. This is a great way to get an extra tribute, basically the only extender that you can play in the deck because it normal summons, it doesn't special, and obviously specials are going to kill the deck. And then lastly, we got the game winners. We got the shifter. It wins games. Especially against tier. Round 6. I feel so bad for the guy. He was a total sweetheart. Was it 6? No. Round 7. Total sweetheart played against Dragon Link, and I opened shifter all 3 games. Game 1 I got him, and then game 2 and 3 he sided out his Bish Shields because he's like, no way I'm gonna open shifter 3 times in a row. I opened it 3 times in a row. Absolutely cooked. It was an awesome game, and shifter just came in the whole format, the whole time I've been testing, plus the whole tournament. That's all I've got for monsters. Play a ton of spells. And where are my traps? We'll go quickly through the spells. You play 3 of the map, got to. Starter turns any bird into a starter, you get Robina. Sometimes it's not a starter if you have Scree, but usually you can get something in Grave. That's why we have Terraforming, get to it more, also put something in Grave for Scree. More Searchers. We got the Advents. Advent's a super huge card. It ducks imperms. It's going to gain you that 500 in time, as well as if you do it in draw phase, you can get a bird in Grave, plus you can get another bird, or you can add map if that's what you're needing. Do it in draw or standby, you're going to get away with Droll. Lets you play around Droll just a little bit. So super duper important card. Couldn't play without it. Probably I would say arguably the best card in the entire deck, besides Shifter. Here, consistency cards, gotta play them. Flu doesn't special, so Duality's always online. Prosperity, I mean, one of the best cards in the entire game. Best consistency card you can have. You play 3 and 3, can't cut them. The deck just loses straight up. Luckily, I didn't run into a lot of consistency issues. The one match that I did lose, I had to draw. I was able to play some hand traps, and I got through 5 draws, and I still didn't see anything. I didn't see any of these. And I know that if I could just get a few draws more, maybe I'd get a Robina, but I didn't see them, and I really wish I had, and so that's why you gotta play 6 of them. And then we play the one of Unexplored Winds. Arguably right up there with Advent for one of the most important cards. You can't play too many of them because you will brick on it. Sometimes you can fix your hand. There gets to a point in grind games where if you can still have this on board, Robina's going to start grabbing just random birds. You'll end up with 2 Robinas, 2 Eaglins in your hand, and you can just cycle them back, get 2 more cards that you need. Super important card, but obviously the non-once per turn being able to tribute over any card on your opponent's board, M-Pen, Eaglin, all the birds, they get your normal summon on resolution. So just a completely unrespondable, only way that you're going to be able to get rid of a lot of big problem monsters. I played Dragon Link, and I had to get rid of Borland twice with this thing. I had no other way around it, and it was just absolute game winner when it goes off. And then double thrust, 1 talent. Could have played 3. Thrust goes into a couple of my traps. Going second, it gets me into evenly. Going first, it gets me into Featherstorm. Featherstorm wins games. Thrust wins games. That's how it is. Don't need it. You don't need this for the deck. You can build it cheaper, but I think this really gives it that extra oomph that it needs sometimes. Talents is just a good. Sometimes you steal. Sometimes you draw. Just a good staple.
I'd argue that you still need Thrust. My card's
It's dummy good. It's really, really good. I think the way that I saw it, I could have at least still played pretty well without it. And then this one, a little contentious. Some people don't love it, but I loved Book of Moon. Some people don't play it because you would just rather have an Ash for going second. You might rather have a Nibiru or Droll. Book of Moon killed it all day long. I was dodging imperms with it. If I got lucky enough where they didn't see any hand traps, I would just set it. It's an extra interruption. And in my round 8 match, I played against Infernoble. Target it with the equip. You just book it, and nothing they can do. And I even one time they equipped it to my M-Pen, and I booked my own M-Pen and then tributed it later, just to get it off board. It was super great. Gotta play. I was not a believer the whole process, and my friend who had played Flu before, he's like, you gotta have it. I put it in, trusted him, and it totally paid off.
Book of Moon is a sleeper good card.
Sleeper good card. I guess there's some questions why I might not play Eclipse. It doesn't play around. Ash can stop it. They're going to get the draw. Sometimes you can't get every monster off the board. It doesn't hit links, which is important. Book doesn't either, but sometimes, most of the time, you're only going to need to hit one. I also hit a per Eep onto a happiness one time, so that was pretty good too. That helped me pull it off in round 5. Also check out that guy, super sweetie. I'm also gonna have a deck profile on his channel. I don't know what his channel is, but if you see me with another deck profile, just know it's him. And then lastly, got 3 traps. Play 1 of each. I really consider 2 Dreaming Town. I think if I were to see more tier, I would have wanted it. But luckily, I just didn't run into it. I also didn't run into the Floowandereeze all day. So it was really interesting. I think that might have been interesting there. But you'll see my extra. I do play, or my side. I do play 1 more of these. Evenly is my big blowout going second. I only played it once, and they kind of were able to get around it with SP. Evenly's not a super great card this format. I think if I were to redo it, I might take out Evenly, but if it does resolve the way you want it to, it is also a game winner. So I think that's what this deck really relies on. You know, you have your Shifter, you have Evenly, you have Feather Storms. Those are all just big game winners. Alrighty. We'll get into the extra. Literally did not come up even once. This is what it looks like. Got double Zeus, double Downerd, double Assembled Nightingale. There's some really corner case stuff, you know, just doing some theory stuff. I was checking out some other regional lists, and I saw Linkuriboh, Azalea, and Anima. I've always played Anima, but being able to make 2 darks and go into Azalea lets you get around things like Tikaboo, lets you get around things like you know, anti-spell, things like that. So it's actually a pretty good combo. Obviously, it's not going to let you do anything else, but that is all right. Didn't come up, thankfully. I think if you're going into the extra deck, you're probably losing anyway. So that's all there. That's really need to get said about that. And then lastly, you just have some little tech choices in the side. We got the triple Ash. Ash hits everything. It's super good. Nibiru, I played 3. I found it at the regional level. A lot of these people were playing around. They have lines. Most decks have lines through Nibiru. If it did resolve, it could be game ending, but with SP Little Knight running around, you know, they can get off. It's kind of okay. I don't know that I would play it if I played again. Yeah, the triple Cosmic. For back row hate decks, didn't see a whole lot of them. Didn't need to come up. Didn't even play it once. I have the Herald for Pearly. Didn't see it when I needed to, but that was alright because I ended up winning. I have the 1 DD Crow. Would have been good in Unchained, but I didn't see it. And then it would also be good in... Actually, that's a lie. I did see it in my Unchained match. Bought me a turn, but didn't matter. Really good against Pearly. Searchable. It's really good. And then lastly, we have just a couple more winning cards here. We got that second Evenly for going second. We have Feather Storms. Super duper good. If you open it, you're going to win. That plus any Wind Wing Beast just turns off monster effects for the entire turn for your opponent. They can't work through that. And then, interestingly enough, I did play the second Dreaming Town in the side, like I said. More tier. I think I did side it in against tier. It did come up. But it really wasn't that important throughout the day. I think you could probably cut this in the Nibirus and you can make spots for other stuff. But yep, that's the list. I'm super proud of how I did, and just want to do a couple shout outs. Shout out Yugi guys to get a drink with, Carlos, Dante, Austin, Ben, obviously super important. Glad that they were able to stick around. You know, we got some food afterwards. It was super great, and I wouldn't have had nearly as much fun if they weren't there. Other than that, also shout out Team Mist, let me borrow a couple cards. You know, shout out Eli, shout out Leo, and they were just, you know, there for emotional support throughout the entire thing. Super cool guys, check them out. Shout out Panda, also part of Team Mist, check out his channel. And then lastly, obviously, big shout out to IRL Cards. Little bit of sponsorship that they let me rock the pin all day. If you look at the regional picture, I got it on. Appreciate them. Thanks for doing the deck profile, and definitely check them out if you're in the Tucson area.
We appreciate you walking our store and showing off for the Tucson guys.
Hell yeah.
But congrats for getting top 8.
Thank
It's
you.
really cool. And if people want to come in, play some Flu, play some other stuff, come into the store.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next time.